Number 1. If you aim down sight with your weapon towards a door, you'll have a different option to peek it open, allowing you to crack it open slightly and look around. This also allows you to remove the audio cue from slamming open a door when sprinting, allowing you to play more tactically and sneak up on your opponents. Number 2. There is a setting in-game to change your minimap from a circle to a square. The square will give you much more map coverage, and I highly recommend doing so. Buy stations will have a different appearance before and after they are used. You can tell if there are people in the area around with you if a buy station off spawn has been opened. When an opponent gets respawned in by their teammate, you will see a red flare in the sky, indicating that someone is being redeployed into the warzone. This is a good indicator to look up and check the skies for a potential kill. 5. It's possible to kill an opponent before they even touch the ground. To do so, you must cut your own parachute, aim carefully, and use your pistol to try to take them out.
Are you kidding me?
6. If you activate 3 UAVs at the same time, it will create an advanced UAV, showcasing the entire map and the direction that your opponents are facing. Number 7. Self-revive has 2 additional benefits. You can use your self-revive to stop yourself from bleeding out while downed. You can also use your self-revive to almost completion, and then have a teammate finish reviving you. Not only will this save your self-revive for a different fight, but it'll allow you to be picked up faster in the heat of combat. If you get behind one of your opponents and hold down the melee button, you'll perform a finishing move execution. It's important to note that this execution cannot be cancelled, and you are vulnerable to getting shot during the animation. There are multiple free ammo caches around the map. These will refill both your primary and secondary weapons. It's important to note that this will not refill either your lethal or tactical equipment, and that each cache can only be hit 1 time per person. Number 10. You can detonate your C4 faster by double tapping your interact button. For PC, this is defaulted to F. For controllers, it's either square or X. But most people don't realize that you can regenerate health in the Gulag. If you're able to stall out combat long enough, you'll see your entire health pool replenish. It's important to note that any damage you take from opponent or from a rock will stop this healing process. There is an audio indicator announced when someone gets revived. This is very important to listen out for while in a team fight or in case anybody has a self-revive on them. That's for 13. While using Dead Silence, if you manage to get a killing blow, the entire duration will be refreshed. It's important to note that you cannot use armor plates while Dead Silence is active. Number 14. Your radar can tell you the elevation of your opponents. If it is just a red blip on the map, that means that the opponent is in the same elevation as you. If there is an arrow above the blip on the map, that means that they are above in elevation. If there is an arrow below the blip on the map, that means that they are below you in elevation. You can use this information to help you judge on where your opponents are and how to act accordingly. A trophy system can be used to destroy incoming equipment and explosives. These are particularly useful especially when recovering from a team fight or when traversing the map. A trophy system can be placed on any of the vehicles to protect you while in motion. It's important to note that these trophy systems only last a certain amount of time, so place them carefully. Number 16. 3 things to consider while driving in Warzone. Your vehicle will move the same speeds forwards and backwards. You can use the third-person angle of the car to overlook terrain and objects that you wouldn't normally be able to see over in first person. Use your car to position yourself in an advantageous spot to help you get the edge on a team fight. Number 17. There are 2 free loadout drops every single game. The first loadout will arrive when the first circle is about to close on the safe zone, with 12 seconds remaining on the timer. The second loadout will drop when the 5th circle has been announced, with 45 seconds left on the timer. Here is a side-by-side comparison of both the times that the loadouts will drop each game. Number 18. You can use a deployable cover to protect a teammate who's been downed out in the open. Number 19. To deal with people camping in the trailer buildings, there is a secret entrance underneath the trailer that you can crawl to and catch your enemies by surprise. Number 20. When you spawn into the Gulag, your character will be equipped with 5 rocks. These rocks can be thrown exactly like your grenade. Each rock will do 1 damage. It's possible to kill people participating in the Gulag with a rock. Number 21. While reviving a downed teammate, it is possible to keep your character in motion by spamming crouch or prone. This will protect you during the duration of the animation. Number 2. When the free loadout drop hits the map, there is a chance for multiple boxes to spawn. For every additional box in the area, that means that there is another team. Number 21. Number 22. When the free loadout drop hits the map, there is a chance for multiple boxes to spawn. For every additional box in the area, that means that there is another team within a 200-meter radius. The game will program the drops to drop in a central location between all of the teams present. Number 23. Make a class with 2 primary weapons. This can be done by equipping the secondary perk Overkill. For this example, I will use the Growl and the MP7. Here, I'm going to attach the weapon perk fully loaded to my Growl. I'm also going to do the same with my MP7. 4. If you deploy your parachute early and cut it, you disable the automatic redeploy. There is a flashing red indicator on the screen to alert you that you are too high and will fall to your death if you do not pull your parachute. You can see the flashing red indicator here on the screen. Notice how even after I redeploy again, it continues to flash, so I'm forced to pull my parachute even closer to the ground. Number 25. If your loadout drop ever gets stuck in an unfortunate spot, it's worth noting that you can shoot it and force it to move. This sometimes allows you to budget free or to push it off the surface. Number 25. 26. If you are running an SMG class, there is a way to have an additional weapon perk. Equip a secondary pistol. To that secondary pistol, equip the weapon perk fully loaded. Since the pistol has fully loaded, every time you take this loadout, you will respawn with maximum reserve SMG ammo. You can ditch the pistol shortly after and still keep the ammo. Number 26. If you are running an SMG class, there is a way to have an additional weapon perk. Equip a secondary pistol. To that secondary pistol, equip the weapon perk fully loaded. Since the pistol has fully loaded, every time you take this loadout, you will respawn with maximum reserve SMG ammo. You can ditch the pistol shortly after and still keep the ammo. Number 26. Number 27. You can spray paint your opponents in the gulag. This makes it much easier to spot your targets, especially in your fights. Here's an example of a 1v1 versus a spray painted opponent. Number 27. Number 28. You can save a teammate who's been downed in gas by reviving them and allowing them to get re-knocked on the top of a vehicle. They will then continue to stay on the top of the vehicle while you drive them to the safe zone. It is important to note that this is very situational, but it does work. Number 28. Number 29. You can use the size and the accessibility of the vehicles in this game to find new entrances to buildings that are otherwise hard to siege. Number 29. Loadout drops are the only way to get perks in this game. The perks do not stack between multiple loadout drops. You will only be given your 3 most recently taken perks. The perks I recommend for the first category are EOD or Cold-Blooded. The perks I recommend for the second category are Overkill for your first loadout, and then switch to either Restock or Ghost in your second loadout. The third perk that I recommend is Amp. This greatly affects your weapon swap speed, and if you run RPGs, you will be able to reload them faster.